Hello, I'm Richard Seltzer. I'd like to share with you my favorite book, The Lizard of Oz, which I self-published 46 years ago. I'm going to read to you the new, improved, and expanded edition, which I just finished writing and which is not in print. I'll make a separate video for each chapter. The original edition had illustrations by Christin Couture. I'll show you one of those pictures at the end of this video. Chapter 26, The Great Dragon of Ohm. The water was cold, so everybody scrambled ashore again. Mr. Newman, Kathy, Kevin, and Eugene started wandering up the hill. "Hey, come back here," Miss Shelby shouted. "This place could be dangerous." When they didn't respond, she ran after them to bring them back. But as she ran up the hill, she started forgetting what she was running for, and she just wanted to get to the top. Soon everyone was running in that direction. From the top of the hill, across the green fields of Ohm, they saw the huge shape of the great dragon of Ohm, the Lizard of Oz, the leaping lizard himself. Peter and Linda C. ran to the shelter of Miss Osborne's arms. Linda S. said, "The zoo's a really nice place to go to see strange animals. There are bars keeping them in, and it's really very safe." And Mr. Newman started singing, "Puff the Magic Dragon." Soon everyone was singing that song, and they were all laughing and playing and rolling in the green, green grass of Ohm. From the distance they heard, "Ohm, Ohm, Ohm," repeated over and over again by what sounded like a huge chorus. Joy asked, "Why do they keep saying Ohm, Miss Shelby?" "It must be a football game or something," she answered. "They're probably chanting the name of the home team. But it's funny. If I shut my eyes, I could think I was in the Far East, in a Buddhist monastery." "Where's the Far East?" asked Mark. "Is it in Maine somewhere?" "No, it's on the other side of the world. The world is very big. The sun shines half the time here, and half the time there. When it's day here, it's night there. When it's night there, it's day here. There's no real difference between their side of the world and ours, but by coincidence, all the major religions started in the East." "Miss Shelby, come quick," shouted Gaynell. "Somebody over here's in chains." "Don't free me," said the man. "Please don't free me, or I'll run to it. I know it will destroy me, but I'm drawn to it. Please don't free me." He pulled at the chains, trying to rip himself free. Then he fell back, exhausted, relieved that the chains had held. His arms and legs were scarred and bloodied by such repeated attempts. Someone else was praying, "O radiant being, light of lights, very God of very gods." A girl was writhing on the ground, saying, "Stop, it hurts. Please don't pull me there. Please, I don't think I can stop myself. It feels too good." Miss Osborne said, "Everyone back on the hill. We shouldn't expose the children to this. I'll run ahead and get what we came for. If I go fast, I think I can do it." She went running down the hill with a stick in her hand. At first, she was scared, but soon she started to feel that she didn't need anyone bigger than herself. Then she realized there was someone bigger. She couldn't say who it was, but his or her presence gave her even greater confidence. "Gosh," said Donnie, "look at all the pretty colors." Miss Osborne's clothes had suddenly changed color. "That's a strange, intense light," explained Miss Shelby. "It plays tricks on your eyes. It can make a perfectly ordinary dress look like it's fit for a queen." "Fit for an empress," said Kathy. "That's moral fiber." Miss Shelby laughed. "What a beautiful idea. Children say the sweetest things." "Man," said Mr. Newman, "she can't fight that dragon all by herself." He went running to the rescue. "Stop," shouted Miss Shelby. "Come back." But he kept running. The kids wanted to follow him, but Miss Shelby held them back. So they practiced the dragon fighting strokes that St. George and the other knights of the merry-go-round table had taught them, and they cheered for Miss Osborne and Mr. Newman. When Mr. Newman started out, he was scared. But the closer he got to the dragon, the better he felt. He could feel his muscles getting stronger with every step. It would be child's play to kick that little dragon for a field goal. The empty corners of his mind filled with new strength and confidence. It was no mystery to him how people turn themselves into fish, and fish into frogs, and frogs to people. He felt the life force surging through him, the force that in an acorn could crack huge boulders, the power to change the world and to change himself. All around him, other people rushed forward, then crawled back, fighting this force that drew them onwards. Hundreds shouted that they were Caesar or Napoleon. One shouted that he was an atom bomb. Mr. Newman passed Miss Osborne. She'd forgotten that he was running to rescue her and fight the dragon. Now he was running to find that source of strength. And all around he heard, Om, Om, Om. He had to fight his way through the masses of immobile people chanting over and over, Om, Om, Om. Meanwhile, Miss Shelby was so busy looking off into the distance, trying to see Mr. Newman and Miss Osborne, that she didn't notice that Donny had slipped by her. He hadn't meant to go far, but with every step he took, he saw clearer and brighter and sharper. Soon he was seeing through things with X-ray vision like Superman. Then he knew that what it must be like to be one of those judges in the oddest sea who could tell at a glance who was a goodie and who a baddie. He felt he could literally see what was right and wrong. Kathy, too, edged her way forward. Her feet wandered of their own accord while she daydreamed about the love potion on a midsummer night's dream. Then she saw a robin with a hurt wing. She bent down and picked the robin up and petted it. She just loved the little robin. It looked like it wanted to fly toward the dragon, and it had probably hurt itself trying so hard. So she ran forward with the robin in her hand, and the bird gained strength with every step she took. When it sang for joy and flew off toward the dragon, Kathy felt good all over. Next, Mark started running toward the dragon, and as he ran, he felt he could answer all the questions he had ever wanted to ask. Then he felt he had answers to questions he had never thought of asking. Then he didn't even know what the questions could be, but he knew he was finding answers, and the answers were important. Without realizing it, Miss Shelby, too, started moving forward, and the rest of the class with her. She felt she had never known so much in all her life. She felt she didn't even know how much she knew. Then she nearly tripped. I have to tell someone, said the man. She almost tripped over. I have to put it into words. I went to Om singing, and I returned from Om singing, and the light was in my words, and the light shone through my words. My beloved heard the song and came running to see what I'd seen, but while I put what I saw into words, she was speechless, and it filled her, and she was spellbound. Now I can see from her face that she's happy, but all she sees is that light, that cursed light, that blessed light. Then he ran off to tell someone else. We have to do something, said Miss Shelby. This dragon business is dangerous. I thought so before, but now I know it. And we ought to put it into words. I know we ought to. Our only protection is to put it into words, but I don't know how. Linda S. started singing, Joshua at the Battle of Jericho. Everybody joined in. Then they ran back to the little green VW and piled in, and Miss Shelby drove as fast as she could toward the Dragon of Om, the Lizard of Oz. Everybody kept singing as loud as they could, Joshua at the Battle of Jericho. They picked up Mark and Kathy and Donny on the way. Then they slowed to push their way through the mob. They had to sing loud to hear themselves of the great roaring chant of Om, Om, Om. But the kids loved to sing and were very good at singing loud. They picked up Mr. Newman and Miss Osborne near the huge giant who was stretched out at the feet of the dragon, and still they sang loud and clear, Joshua at the Battle of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down. Then the kids piled out of the car, started climbing on the dragon. Gainel put wilted forget-me-nots between the dragon's toes. Kathy stuck petalous daisies under its scales. Mr. Newman took out his slightly crushed sunflower and tickled the dragon's belly with it. Eugene and Kevin and Joey hit the dragon with with uppercuts and backstrokes and breaststrokes, just like St. George had taught them. The dragon really didn't know what to make of it. Then Cindy, who had climbed all the way up the dragon's back, crawled carefully to the very top of its head and stroked it gently behind the left ear. That was a stroke of genius. The dragon purred and laid down and looked incredibly happy. Soon it was sound asleep. Then Mr. Newman, Eugene, Kevin, Mark, Joey, Donny, Peter, Timmy, Kathy, Gainel, Linda C. and Linda S. all held the dragon's mouth open, and Miss Osborne reached with the stick down the dragon's throat. When her arm came out, the torch was going bright and clear with the fire that doesn't burn. I'd like to show you a picture from the first edition of The Lizard of Oz. It's an illustration by Christin Couture. This is a picture of the Lizard of Oz, the great dragon of Ohm, the leaping lizard himself. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. Please watch the rest of the story. I'm making a separate video of each of the 27 chapters. Feedback welcome. My name is Richard Seltzer, as in Alka-Seltzer. My email is seltzer@seltzerbooks.com. All Things That Matter Press recently published 3 other novels of mine: Parallel Lives, Beyond the Fourth Door, and Nevermind. You can find those all at Amazon as paperbacks and as ebooks. They can be read in any order. They are independent stories with overlapping theme and styles. Each presents a different view of reality, a different way of trying to make sense of the mysteries of life.